Hi guys, and welcome to My Queer View. Today we are talking about the Supreme Court of the United States ruling on the 303 Creative LLC out of Colorado. Oh goodness, it's been quite the hatred and bigotry is being confirmed by this right-wing illegitimate court that has been stacked. Let's go ahead and check out this first clip that I have for you guys.
All right, so today the 6 conservative justices on the Supreme Court ruled that a Colorado graphic designer who wants to create wedding websites has the right to deny her services to same-sex couples. That designer, a woman named Lori Smith, has not started her wedding website business yet, but says that her Christian faith prevents her from doing work that celebrates same-sex marriage. Smith wants to post a statement explaining that her policy is actually based on her religious beliefs. So she sued. She sued to get an exemption from Colorado's anti-discrimination law that prohibits discrimination against LGBTQ plus people by businesses that serve the public. Now, as this case was making its way through the judicial process all the way up to the Supreme Court, Lori Smith's lawyers argued in a brief to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals that she had received a request from a prospective customer named Stuart inquiring about a website to celebrate his wedding to his fiancée, a person named Mike. Now, this week, as Supreme Court justices were set to decide whether Lori Smith should be able to turn someone like that alleged prospective customer named Stuart, turn him away, a reporter at the New Republic decided to get his contact information from the publicly available filing and reach out to him to hear what he has to say, find out what was going on. And what he had to say was actually startling. Stuart claimed he never sent that inquiry, and at the time it was sent, he was married to a woman. Quote, I'm married, I have a child, I'm not really sure where that came from, but somebody is using false information in a Supreme Court filing document. He also questioned why he, a web designer living in San Francisco, would seek to hire someone in another state who has never built a wedding website, let alone a website for a same-sex wedding, to build his wedding website. So despite the very real questions raised by this reporting, today, conservative justices went ahead and ruled in Lori Smith's favor and opened the door to discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community in this country.
Shocking.
Here's what Justice Sonia Sotomayor said in her dissent, a dissent that she read aloud from the bench today to emphasize her disagreement. She wrote in part, quote, by issuing this new license to discriminate in a case brought by a company that seeks to deny same-sex couples the full and equal enjoyment of its services, the immediate symbolic effect of the decision is to mark gays and lesbians for second-class status. In this way, the decision itself inflicts a kind of stigmatic harm on top of any harm caused by denials of service. Joining me now is Melissa Jarrett Grant, staff writer at the New Republic, author of that report. Ms. Grant, thank you so much for being here. So I have a lot of questions. I mean, this reporting was incredible, but let me start by just the basics, how sure are you that the Stuart you spoke to is in fact telling the truth?
Stuart, first of all, was very surprised to hear from me. When I came across this phone number in the filing, I kind of thought, we've seen this in other cases and other instances of anti-queer and anti-trans discrimination. If someone's notorious for that, sometimes they get trolled or spammed. That's what I thought I was calling about. That's what I thought I was going to hear. And instead, I talked to this very sweet, progressive guy who's shocked to even hear from me. I was shocked. I mean, I expected him to be like, oh, I've been called by 5 reporters, 10 reporters over the years. My number has been floating around since 2016. Nothing. And in fact, he was aware of the case, but only when it was argued at the Supreme Court, because the web design and design community were discussing it in the context of their own work and what it might mean. So given the fact that this is an inquiry made with his real name, real phone number, real email address, and real URL for his company at the time, which was all publicly available, I think the chances are more likely that somebody used his identity. If he was going to do this in a fraudulent way or in a harassing way, why would he do so under his own identity? It just doesn't make sense.
So, Kristen Wagater, the president of the conservative Christian legal nonprofit alliance Defending Freedom, and the lawyer who argued this before the Supreme Court, responded to your reporting on a press call earlier, and she called it untrue. I want to play for you and our viewers just a part of what she had to say. Listen.
Lori received a website request, design request from a third party. Even Colorado agreed. It's not her responsibility, nor is she able to do background checks on those who she's receiving these requests from, because Colorado has told her that if she declines in any way a request like this, she puts herself in the crosshairs of this law. So again, it's undisputed that the request was received. It was received by a third party. Whether that was a troll and not a genuine request.
That is absolutely factually false what they're saying. Okay? This woman on the right here in the pink has never made a website for heterosexual or gay couples. She doesn't have the business. She wants to start the business but doesn't have it. This is a hypothetical. And the founding fathers were very, very clear that the Supreme Court can only hear cases if there is somebody being actively harmed or something that a case is being brought that has real potential for X, Y, or Z. They are not to hear cases. They are not to have standing in anything that is a hypothetical. And that's exactly what this is. This is I might someday do this. And if I do, I don't want to make these websites for marriage websites for the LGBTQ community. This is outright bigotry and homophobia and discrimination. And the right wing propaganda court of the